Hello and welcome. Thank you for joining our brief presentation, where we will offer a summary of the crucial points covered in our seminar titled An Introduction to the Updated NCCA Short Course in SPHE 2023. This recording aims to equip you with insights into the redeveloped NCCA Short Course in SPHE in preparation for our upcoming seminars on teaching relationships and sexuality across the SPHE specification. We recommend that you watch this video on a PC or laptop device, as we will be inviting you to open up documents to review during this short recording. Let's begin by focusing on the rationale for the redeveloped SPHE Specification 2023. Adolescence is a time of important change and challenge for young people, as they come to a clearer sense of their identity and gain a more secure sense of who they are. The lifelong process of becoming your own person and gaining a secure sense of identity is a prime developmental concern in adolescence. All young people need knowledge and skills to help them develop a strong sense of self, make informed and healthy decisions, be able to take care of themselves and others, and manage life's challenges. This course places a strong focus on the development of important life skills that young people need growing up in a fast, changing and complex world. Specifically, it focuses on developing the core social and emotional skills of self-awareness, self-management, responsible decision-making, social awareness, and relationship skills. These have been shown to determine how well people manage changing and challenging environments and can influence many important life outcomes. The teaching and learning of SPHE provides a unique space where students can develop the knowledge, understanding, skills, dispositions, and values needed to support their physical, emotional, social, and spiritual well-being, both now and in the future. The SPHE specification is grounded in values of respect, equality, inclusivity, responsibility, dignity, compassion, and empathy. This course aims to build students' self-awareness and positive self-worth, to develop the knowledge, understanding, skills, dispositions, and values that will support them to lead fulfilling and healthy lives, empower them to create, nurture, and maintain respectful and loving relationships with self and others, and enhance their capacity to contribute positively to society. At the heart of all teaching and learning is relationships. Building supportive, caring and respectful classroom relationships, which allow students to safely engage in dialogue and reflection and grow an awareness of themselves and others, is an essential foundation for effective SPHE. This requires a teacher stepping out of the role of expert and assuming the role of facilitator. Acknowledging that many of the topics addressed in SPHE may be sensitive and complex and may not have easy answers. It also requires adopting an open, non-judgmental disposition and at the same time being able to skillfully question and probe assumptions, behaviours and viewpoints within youth culture or society at large. Effective SPHE involves a teacher taking on a facilitation role. This involves planning for learning in consultation with students to learn about their interests and concerns in relation to a specific topic. Also, using active and collaborative teaching and learning methodologies. And finally, letting go of the need to be an expert and sometimes acknowledging your own lack of expertise or knowledge on questions that may arise. Circular 2823 sets out the arrangements now governing the implementation of the Framework for Junior Cycle 2015, with particular reference to the school year 2023-2024. One of the key updates for the school year 23-24 is that the newly redeveloped SPHE specification will be introduced in all schools for students entering their year of junior cycle in the 2023-24 academic year. The 2023 SPHE specification is designed to support students in developing a positive sense of self and a capacity to care for themselves and others. It is designed around 4 interconnected strands and 3 cross-cutting elements. The updated strands are called Strand 1, Understanding Myself and Others, Strand 2, Making Healthy Choices, Strand 3, Relationships and Sexuality Education, and Strand 4, Emotional Wellbeing. Please pause the recording in a few moments and open the link visible on the screen. This link will direct you to the Curriculum online website, where you can view or download a copy of the redeveloped SPHE specification. Please take a few moments to familiarise yourself with the summary information on the 4 strands on page 11 and 12 of the document. When you have read through these pages, please replay this recording. Now that you have a grasp of the intentions of each of these 4 strands, we will now invite you to take time to familiarise yourself with the 39 learning outcomes within the specification. These can be found on page 14 to 17 of the specification. In a few moments, please pause the recording and read through each of these. We encourage you to identify what is new for you in each of these learning outcomes. Please note that the outcomes are numbered within each strand, but the numbering is intended to support teacher planning in the first instance and does not imply any hierarchy of importance across the outcomes themselves. Nor does it imply that the learning outcomes should be attended to sequentially. When planning for learning and teaching in SPHE, teachers can work with a number of learning outcomes from within one strand or across different strands. Now that you have familiarised yourself with the 4 strands and 39 learning outcomes, we are now going to focus on the cross-cutting elements visible on the inner circle of this diagram. These 4 strands are underpinned by 3 cross-cutting elements that are foundational for effective teaching and learning in SPHE. These elements are fundamental to all of our interactions all of the time. The cross-cutting elements are awareness, dialogue, reflection, and action. When you think about designing lessons and then teaching those to your students, it is important to reflect these cross-cutting elements in your classes. The cross-cutting elements are important features when designing lessons for effective teaching and learning. A full description of each of these cross-cutting elements can be found on page 12 of the SPHE specification. Please pause this recording to take a few moments to read through each of these descriptions. This course is based on a spiral approach which allows students to revisit important themes over the 3 years in order to enable deeper engagement relevant to the students' evolving needs and stage of development. In revisiting learning outcomes, it is important to ensure that there is a progression of learning. It is also important to consult regularly with students to ascertain how to plan teaching and learning using the learning outcomes, so that the learning is responsive to students' particular needs, questions, and concerns. Such consultation will ensure that SPHE is relevant and responsive to the reality of students' lives in diverse contexts and classrooms. When thinking about the spiral developmental nature of SPHE, it is also important to remember that not every learning outcome may need to be revisited. Young people in junior cycle are typically aged between 12 to 15 and 16 years. There may be some foundational learning outcomes that are specific for first year that you, as the SPHE teacher, may feel only needs to be explored in one particular year. For example, learning outcome 1.1. Explore the physical, social, and emotional changes that happen during adolescence. Information regarding the progression of learning can be found on page 13 of the specification. The SPHE course supports a wide variety of approaches to assessment. It is envisaged that most assessment in SPHE will be formative in nature, and students will provide evidence of their learning through multiple means of expression, including oral, written, visual, digital, and art-based pieces. In these contexts, students with their teachers and peers will reflect upon and make judgments about their own and others' learning by looking at the quality of particular pieces of work, and they will agree the next steps in their learning based on feedback they give and receive. In this way, ongoing formative assessment can support the students in their learning journey and in preparing for the classroom-based assessment related to this course. Assessment in SPHE is not about setting tasks in order to accumulate a record of marks. nor is it about teachers assessing where the student is situated on the continuum of well-being, or making a judgment about a student's physical, social, or emotional well-being. The focus of assessment is on allowing students to demonstrate the knowledge, skills, dispositions, and values they have gained through their engagement in learning in SPHE. The redeveloped Short Course SPHE specification provides students with two options for the CBA. Option 1 is the creation of a portfolio of my learning and reflection in SPHE. A portfolio of learning allows students to keep track of all of the learning that they have achieved across their junior cycle SPHE journey. The portfolio of learning in SPHE can be a collation of the individual items of work, such as digital, written, texts, posters, audiovisual, or multimodal. By inviting students to select examples of work that mark significant learning, the classroom-based assessment is designed to promote student reflection on their learning. It is important that we think about starting reflection early with our students, as the skills of reflection are supporting the CBA. Option 2 is taking action. Students will, over a specified time, with support and guidance from the teacher, research, report, and reflect on an action they have taken to raise awareness about or promote an aspect of health or well-being studied in the SPHE Short Course. The NCCA have created an SPHE toolkit with a range of supports for teaching, learning, and assessment in SPHE. The toolkit consists of 3 sections: myself as an SPHE teacher, SPHE teaching approaches, and resources for teaching and learning in SPHE. The teaching and learning resources in this toolkit have been carefully selected to support teachers in planning for junior cycle SPHE. They are not a prescriptive list of teaching and learning resources, as each teacher, school, and class will decide what resources are best suited to their needs. Young people in junior cycle are typically aged between 12 to 15 and 16. They are at different stages of emotional, social, and physical development, and each young person will bring a wide variety of life experiences to their learning in SPHE. These resources in the toolkit were developed for this age group by a state agency or organisation with a proven educational track record in the area of SPHE. To facilitate planning, the resources have been carefully mapped against the junior cycle SPHE learning outcomes. However, the relevance and appropriateness of each resource needs to be considered by the SPHE teacher, since the teacher is best placed to discern which resources are suited to supporting learning in the context of their students' unique needs, stage of development, and school context. Please pause the recording for a few moments to copy and paste this link into your search engine. It may also be beneficial to bookmark it for future reference. We would encourage you to take time to peruse these resources before attending our Teaching Relationships and Sexuality across the Junior Cycle SPHE Specification seminar. In particular, the Myself as an SPHE Teacher documents, as we devote a substantial amount of time exploring these documents together during our introduction to the updated NCCA Short Course Specification in SPHE seminars. We are coming to the conclusion of this short recording. We would like to bring your attention to further supports available to schools, but in particular our school support option. Professional learning leaders can offer a bespoke in-school support in the area of SPHE and relationships and sexuality. Please visit the link on the right of your screen to apply for this support. We would like to thank you for taking the time to engage with this short recording. We look forward to meeting you at our upcoming Teaching Relationships and Sexuality across the Junior Cycle SPHE Specification seminars.